While the Yankees lost yesterday, we've got some positive news. Yes, two of the three kids coming up to the big leagues. Welcome back to the Twinbill podcast, everybody. Luca's here. I'm here, but me most important.
Wow, you're most important. No.
Be sure to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so you know when there's a live chat, a live podcast, all that stuff. And 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. So be sure to do that. Also become a member, because that's been a thing over the last 2 weeks. Real talk package, real fan package. You get to choose yourself. Luca, how are you doing? The Yankees have lost the last 2 games to the Tampa Bay Rays. We're going to be going to Florida today. And at the same time, the Yankees have called up 2 kids. So your thoughts?
I'm psyched about Florida. I'd like to thank everybody coming out in the chat. I'm happy about these 2 kids coming up. It's like a long time coming, as Waldo Cabrera and Estevan Florial. Finally, Florial getting the chance that he's been always wanted. Let's see if the Yankees put him in position to succeed. Maybe some other prospects in the future, we'll see. But again, there's going to be a lot of pressure on them for them to produce, because the Yankees have been slumping in August and the dog days of summer.
Right, and the Yankees are not necessarily finished with their tough schedule. They have the Blue Jays coming up. They have the Mets coming up. And I'm pretty sure they start to ease off into the sunset after that, with the Athletics as part of that schedule. And I'm pretty sure they face the Brewers in September, if I'm not mistaken. And the Brewers are trying to battle for a spot in the playoffs. So that's not going to be an easy match, given the way they've been playing against the Rays and some of these other teams. But let's go into the series before we go into the kids and stuff. I want to quickly shout out everybody in the chat. Shout outs to Joe, Killer Joe, Anthony Medina. We got Pete in the chat, Anthony Garcia, Yo Joe, Victor Rivera, Don Krill. I'm pretty sure Li was in here, Dexter Morgan, Kid Clientele, Giancarlo Rodriguez, Jared Williams, and I also kick in with Roy, who was also a member. So appreciate y'all. Also, Gregory McCann, one of his first comments is call up Greg Weissert and release Albert Abreu. I definitely agree with that. I second that. Yeah, that's a great take right there. Shout outs to Matt Stolk, and also shout outs to the Orioles fan in the chat, Tony Clark. Luca, if you want to make some points, we can go into the series a little bit. And I think we should go. I know we're flashing. What you were saying?
I was going to say we go into the positive, the main headline. The kids are coming up.
All right. Do you want to pull up the stats and stuff like that? You want to
already have it up? So the Yankees have called up Estevan Florial and Oswaldo Cabrera last night, which was, I think I got the news like late last night, 1 a.m. Anyways, much needed. Probably Marwin might be on the way out. We don't know yet, but I think that's what's going to happen. I think they'll end up DFAing him, because Oswaldo Cabrera is a very versatile infielder. He can play second. He can play short mostly. He's also spent some time at third. He's also spent some time in the outfield. So you think of him as a guy probably like a Ben Zobrist archetype, someone who's very versatile and a good solid bat in the lineup. So this season for AAA, he's actually played for 3 minor league teams, 3 of our minor league teams, the minors overall. Collectively this year, 9 home runs, 32 RBIs for Cabrera, 13 stolen bases, 269 batting average, 851 OPS, and a 348 on base percentage. So that is what Cabrera is about. He's also good, very good defensively. So there's a lot to look forward to when it comes to him.
I definitely agree there. I definitely agree. Replacing Marwin, and he has more upside than Marwin. Marwin was good like 5 years ago, and he impressed in spring training, but we all knew it was going to come out to be a depth role for him. And we need more flexibility in the infield. And I feel like they still need to call up Peraza, because with
Absolutely.
IKF, you were saying,
I said absolutely.
oh, with IKF playing the way he is and how inconsistent he is, you need more depth at that position. And Oswald Peraza, Oswaldo Cabrera, they could both play shortstop. And that's the thing. You have so many more versatile pieces in the minor leagues, while only, in the big leagues, you only have Gleyber, he can only play second, right? IKF can only play third base. He can't play shortstop, but that's where he's being pigeonholed. Josh Donaldson can only play third. So the future is bright for the Yankees, and they've waited till now, and it seems like this has been the thing that the fan base has been harping on. They have united to say, look, our team isn't good enough. You need to go out there and call up the kids. That's what they did. They have yet to call Marinaccio. They've yet to call Peraza. Is it going to happen? I don't know. But with that being said, the Yankees have executed. It's just going to come with questions that we'll talk about. Will it prove to be the spark that everybody has been waiting for? So, I mean, that's just what it's going to come down to as far as that goes, Luca.
Yeah, definitely. So Oswaldo Cabrera finally gets the opportunity. I'm surprised he got it over Peraza, but it's definitely interesting to see what his role will be. Hopefully he gets a decent amount of bats to start. Again, there's going to be a lot of pressure for these guys to produce because the Yankees are in such a downward slump.
So I want to point out like 3 comments here. Jared Williams is new to the stream, so thank you for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button. Also, guys, share this out. Sharing it out on social media helps out a lot, whether in the Yankees community, whatever. Sharing it out to different people gets more people in here. You get to chat with more people. What was I going to say? So there's another comment. Dexter says, I think you guys need to point out the pussifying of the sport and the horrible commissioner. Baseball won't get good again until the house is clean. I mean, I watch baseball for right now, but there is no doubt that like Rob Manfred's an asshole.
Right.
And that he wants the game to go his way. There's a lot of things that go into that. The gimmicking of the game, the gentrifying of the game, and the way managers appear in the sport, that's another thing as well. I mean, that's also a problem across other sports like in the NFL, the NBA. I mean, we're not to the point in the NBA, from the NBA in the MLB where you got players literally controlling the front office. But, I don't think we're there yet. I don't think that's a worry, but we have other problems on our hands in terms of the MLB and also like the extra inning rule. I mean, that's going to play a part. And in a non-time sport, you have a bunch of idiots, you have a bunch of millennials, and all these Gen Z who don't have an attention span. They come out here and they try to wreck the sport for everybody else. Meanwhile, in my opinion, if you're a true baseball fan, what you do is you watch the sport for 3 hours. That's just the way it is. Your thoughts on Dexter's comment?
No, he's absolutely right. Just baseball has become it's in a downturn, not because of the extra innings and the pace of play. It's also because they're trying to, I'm not going to say buy out their fans, but they're pushing the game away from their fans. When you go on streaming apps like Prime Video, and remember there were people out there tweeting, I had trouble with Prime Video. What's wrong with Prime Video? Because there was some issues, little tech issues, little things like that, but they're just moving their fan base away. They're pushing away their fan base, especially when you go on Apple TV too.
Yeah, and even though Apple TV is free, not a lot of people have access to like an Apple device. We do. We have Apple computers, but at the same time, what if somebody has a Windows computer? How's that going to work? What if somebody has, I don't know, a gateway computer? I mean, that's pretty much unheard of these days. But what if you have you're a Windows guy? You have a Windows computer. It's not going to work like that. And even last night, I saw Craig Carton tweet out. And I don't like Craig Carton too much, but he tweeted out. He was on TBS, and it had that same thing. What did it say on the TV when you went to TBS, Luca?
It said the game is currently not on due to contractual restrictions. I think it was blacked out in New York. You could see in like Florida or whatever, because they were not showing the Yankee broadcast in Florida or other places like that or in the local area. So you could see it on TBS. But if you're in the New York area, you can see it on Prime Video.
So Joseph says nothing wrong with the Ghost Runner. I disagree. Baseball is already a long enough season. You don't need 16, 17, 18 inning games. Those are enough injuries already.
Baseball's a game of injuries, Joe.
Here's what I'm going to say.
We don't come to watch a game for 20 minutes. I'm sorry.
Here's what I'm going to say to that, though.
Fake baseball.
Here's what I'm going to say to that. I can counter your point, and this is just a common disagreement. Here's what I'm going to counter your point. You said that injuries happen, all this stuff. It's also a very big season, so you could get guys back easier. You know, if it was the NFL and you had tearing ACLs all over the place, which is very unheard of in baseball, but you have these calf strains and these shoulder strains,
hamstring strains,
the spraining of like certain parts of the body. Those you can come back from in a season.
It's a long season.
Right.
People forget that.
It's not Zach Britton's injury. I forget what injury he had, but he had surgery in the offseason. Whenever he had surgery, he could be coming back this year because of the long season. Because if the season ended in like August or July, he's done. He's not coming back. That's why we think Matt Carpenter could possibly come back and do something for this team, because we have the long season. Now, once again, is anyone focused on, every single part of the 162 game season? We don't know that. Sometimes the attention span could get there, but I'm just going to say I disagree for right now. Anthony Garcia says the Ghost Runner is Bush League shit. I wouldn't even say it's Bush League. I think it's just fucking pathetic. SI says that fucking douchebag getting a haircut in the bleachers last night really pissed me off. TikTok fuck. I don't even know who that was. Like, I don't even. Here's the thing, though. Can you even bring scissors into the stadium?
I guess he must have showed that he was. Was the guy even a licensed barber?
No, probably not. They were just probably doing bullshit just to do bullshit. But I can't understand that. I can't explain that because I don't know. Keep your questions going.
It was out of strict boredom because I think, I guess they wanted to absolve the losing by getting a haircut.
Yeah, I'm sure. I wonder how much it cost. Anyway,
should be free. I mean, you're already paying for chicken buckets and your tickets, so.
Yeah. Dexter Morgan says pitching duels are the best. But if we were talking home runs, bring back the steroid era. Big facts there. Big facts. Gregory says, very true about the arm strength. I had Volpe at second, Peraza at short, and DJ LeMahieu at third in my future lineup. Yeah, I could definitely see that. SI also says, it also pisses me off when Stephen A has had the audacity on the Yanks to rant on the Yanks.
He did.
Knowing damn well he doesn't watch baseball until his producers gave him a script to read.
Everything about 24 out of 25 things that Stephen A says are all moot points. They're all moot points. ESPN's very scripted. So Stephen A, they pick the topics. It's not like, it's a scripted show, obviously. First Take is, and they just give hot takes. So I don't give a fuck what ESPN says. They're not genuine with their takes. So I don't really care. I'm not descending your comment. I'm just trying to tell it how it is. Their takes are fake. You had Mike Greenberg talking bullshit on the Jets yesterday, as well as Chris Canty on Get Up yesterday. I'm like, you know what? I didn't even listen to the quote. I didn't see the quote, and I don't care about the quote because we all know it's fake. We all know it's not genuine. It's the fans have more touch with the team because they actually watch the games.
What was that last thing you said? I couldn't hear that.
I said the fans are more in touch with the team because they're closer to the team.
Oh, okay. Now I understand.
That's national media. They're not gonna.
Yeah, that's like why YouTube exists. Like the Yankees. You'll have your Michael K's and whoever talk about it, but at the same time, if you're talking about a team like the New York Giants or you're talking about like some other team, let's just say the Kansas City Royals, they'll create their own YouTube channel and do everything like that. Because, well, the national media don't cover the Kansas City Royals. The locals do, but to what extent? Are you really going to go into the specifics that much? No, you're not. What do you guys think about Cabrera coming up? I love it. I love it, man.
Did what
Luca
they needed to
Alex, I'm
do.
not joking. Preseason, postseason infield, Trevino, catcher, Rizzo, DJ LeMahieu, Cabrera, and Peraza. You know, I'm surprised. I'm very surprised that you did not put in Gleyber Torres, but let me shut up before I call for anything. DFA, everyone let Judge Ryden close this team off. Time to start fresh. I'm not necessarily there yet, but if it doesn't work with the kids, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm actually gonna be pissed because it's either going to be in the way they use the kids or it's just Boone's managing. That's where I'm gonna get down to it. You know, I'm kind of not gonna lie to you, and I know we're talking about the kids, we're talking about the state of baseball and all this other stuff because it's a fun conversation. We love you guys contributing to this, but I'm getting actually sick and fucking tired of saying, well, it's not Boone's fault. No, because he said he wanted more control. We got these punt fucking lineups. You went on a rant the other day. If you want to
Yeah,
explain your
but
philosophy,
that's the front office though. Honestly, Mike Fishman and the analytics nerds and the whole organization. It's a collective thing that the Yankees are fine with punting games in August, and I hate that because it's so obvious when you put Tim LeCastro, Kyle Higashioka, and Marwin Gonzalez in the same lineup, you are not winning that day. You're just not. It's not like you're putting one of those three in to take a guy for a day off, and it's ridiculous how they I think it was the other day, they put Benintendi, they took him out of the lineup for an off day, but the next day was an off day. That was before the Red Sox series.
that was a Mariners game, right?
Yes.
It was one I streamed. Yeah, figures enough. And Gleyber Torres, like he's been decent hitting leadoff, but that's not what Gleyber Torres is. He's not a leadoff hitter, just not.
I just still don't like how he's a big head.
He's a head case.
Did you see what happened yesterday? With the whole where Trevino tried to throw a runner out second, Gleyber Torres just casually missed the ball.
That happened.
Oh, come on, Alex. You had to see that.
I didn't see it.
Come on. You're going to tell me you haven't seen that? You didn't see Joe and Pete's reactions? Come on.
I'm fucking dead serious. I didn't
Bro, you got to look it up. Look it up. Look it up.
Who posted it? Tell me who posted it.
Somebody. It's got to be up on Twitter. I literally watched the thing damn live.
Okay, I'm gonna pull it up, and we're gonna do it live. Do it live. I'm on a Windows computer, so it's hopefully this isn't it. Oh, this is. What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? You're not even trying. Oh my god, I'm done with this asshole. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, how were you just watching that? How was that the first time you what?
This is the first time I've seen it.
I don't understand.
I don't know how. Well, to be fair, Luca, I haven't been on my other fucking computer because it's broken. Okay.
You could have just watched the game.
Well, you know, this took place in what, the fourth inning? Were we still upstairs? I was probably doing some other shit.
It was like no, it wasn't even the fourth inning. It was like the first inning, one of the first three innings.
Yeah, it was in the top of the fourth. I'm looking at it right now. But this is just crazy. Yankees had, and I'm looking at Pete's tweet. Yankees had Miguel Rojas and Pablo Lopez for Gleyber Torres and Oswald Peraza, and the Yankees said no. That's unfucking believable. Like, I didn't even know that part until now. Well, actually, I took a peep at the tweet this morning, but I didn't know like to the full extent till now. That's fucking disgraceful. I don't care.
I thought that was the Marlins
kids because I don't care. I need to, before anyone says that this is a spark, it needs to be a spark.
I said, what I was going to say was I thought the Marlins offered that on the table and the Yankees said no. Or did the Yankees pull out of their own offer?
The Yankees were the ones who said no. Yeah, Luca's going to blow his nose. He's allergic to stupidity, everybody. He is allergic to stupidity in that case.
Why not? I'm allergic to your stupidity.
Then why are you here? Yeah, I hear Sean laughing in the background. I'm not fucking stupid.
Yeah, he's right beside me.
Yeah, he's like the peanut gallery there. He's like the peanut gallery.
He's even stunned you saw the play just the first time.
Well, I didn't fucking see it.
Of course he didn't.
Shut up. What was I going to say? Someone had a question. Did the Yankees announce this yet officially? I don't think so. I think it's all just been reports, right?
It's all been reports. It's that Daniel guy somebody. It's Daniel Bob Clappish, not officially, because I know Clay Holmes is going on the IL. We
Do you
don't
know what
have
the other move is?
we don't have a corresponding move.
Then what the fuck are we gonna do? Place DJ on the IL?
They said they're not going to do that.
Are we gonna cut Marwin? What are we doing here, people? To answer the question, yeah, they did not. They didn't even say anything. So there's that. But what I'm saying is, in terms of the whole Boone thing that we were discussing a few minutes ago, I'm literally, because this is literally like last season. It's just everybody has caught on to the fact that it's more the front office. He needs to do something like, look, I don't want to be putting out these fucking punt lineups where you have Benintendi sixth. Okay. I get it. We're in first place. I get it. We're fucking 10 games up. But literally, this is the same situation outside of the record as last season. Everybody knows it. And I'm once again, I don't mean to make this a moot point and to keep, turning it. But, it's the front office. Why don't Boone fucking say something? He wanted more control. That's what he said. He said he would come back to this team if he, could get control more. And right now, it just seems like he doesn't have control. And the thing is, I can't get on board with that. Also, if you're not going to discipline your players like Gleyber, who's a fucking head case and shouldn't be on this goddamn team.
I mean, Boone's never been that disciplinary.
Right, but
there's no leadership. There is no leadership. There's nobody that's going to break. There's nobody that's going to fire up the locker room. You think Donaldson's doing that?
No, because Donaldson's a scumbag. Donaldson's an absolute fucking scumbag. Yeah, I just saw the thing pop up in my fucking tweet about Stephen A's rant. I'm not watching it. I'm not listening to it. Yeah, Donaldson in the 4-hole. That's another one. Fucking, why is he in the 4-hole? Luca, do you have any answer for that?
None, not at all. Because he's clearly struggling. He's past his prime. There's no reason for him to be in the 4-hole.
Eric Rodriguez says DFA Hicks, LeCastro, Marwin Donaldson. I agree, but that's going to be in fairy tale land. Unfortunately, we live in the Brian Cashman era, so
Cashman loves holding on to prospects, and he also loves holding on to his additions, like his prime additions. Aaron Hicks, Josh Donaldson, the major investments. Joey Gallo for too long. Now Joey Gallo's hit 3 home runs in his first 9 games in LA.
I don't get that. And people are going to say, well, the Yankees and this and that and the other thing. Like, the Yankees may have overplayed him. They may have just fucked him up. But it was also on Joey Gallo too. Like, I don't want to hear, oh, Joey Gallo, this and this. No, fuck off. That's same as Gary Sanchez shit. Okay. Gary Sanchez is not so good right now. Hasn't been good. Cut the fucking strings, cut the bait, all that shit. Billy Martin would have set fire to the clubhouse. That's funny. Joe says if Haraza gets called up, it breaks out at shortstop for us. IKF moves to third, and Donaldson does not get a postseason spot. I don't think they'll do that. I don't think we're at that level yet. I wouldn't mind it, but
when is the deadline for roster eligibility for the postseason?
That's a good question. Does anybody know that? Please answer in the chat. The great Ref Snyder. Yeah, that was a thing in the day. That was like 5, 6, 7 years ago. And I remember when he got called up for the first time. I was kind of excited, not gonna lie. But while you do that as well, Luca, we didn't go into Estevan Florial in the season he's having.
It's August 31st, by the way. A.B. Florial's having an amazing season for the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders. I almost said Thunder for some reason. Down there in AAA, 286, 368 OBP, OPS of 858, 14 homers, 39 RBIs, and 32 stolen bases. Speed, range, fielding. And somebody said Yankees Metrics on Twitter says that I'd rather have LeCastro over Estevan Florial.
Yeah, someone needs to put that guy in a fucking box and send him down the Hudson River.
No, he needs to be put in a blender.
Okay, I guess that's a way to go with it. Guys, we're almost at 50 likes. Let's get it up to 50 likes. 47 to be exact. I'd rather Cabrera over IKF. I think a lot of people would. Shout outs to Ra. What is going on, Ra Thompson? Also, guys, keep going in the chat with the comments and the questions as we keep going along. Gregory says, who would you rather have, Gardner or Hicks? I kind of want to say Gardner, honestly.
I do too.
Because at least he was likable. He was
Right.
past his prime, and people sometimes give him shit for no reason.
Over the top.
And he shouldn't be back with this team, but he was likable. He was a likable guy.
He could place him the top or the bottom of the lineup, and he would just take a lot of pitches. He would, work the count. He'd do something constructive, unlike Aaron Hicks.
Yeah, I mean, remember, Luca, those geeks on Twitter were trying to convince us that Aaron Hicks was a good ball player.
30-30 season, you know it.
30 strikeouts and 30 pop-outs. Yeah, okay. So you want to go into our next subject or next bullet point?
Let me just read this. I just found a stat on Twitter. The Yankees have lost 11 of their last 14 games, giving them the worst record in the majors since the start of August, just behind the Oakland Athletics.
That's terrible. That's fucking terrible. That's disgraceful.
They are just 8-17 since the All-Star break, and after having entered the break with the best record in baseball. Mets have passed them. The Astros have passed them. The Dodgers have passed them. So if you want to say who the better team in New York is, it's the Mets. Unfortunately, but everybody, let's stop being homers. Face facts.
Lenny says, "What are we going to do with Andujar? He's not any better than anyone who's struggling. They should have gotten rid of him a long time ago. True. Cashmer's asleep at the wheel, Luca.
That's absolutely true. What do you do with him? He's just not a fit on this team. I'm sorry. He
hasn't been good recently.
No, he and it's because I think the Yankees killed him. I don't want to make excuses for the player, but the Yankees kind of killed his trade stock. He should have been traded at the deadline. He should have been starting somewhere else instead of just bringing him up, bringing him down, bringing him up, bringing him down. It's all about control.
Yeah. No, I agree. I definitely agree. Do you want to bring up the next bullet? Actually, we got a super chat from Brother Natural. He says, the constant batting lineup change is hurting the Yanks most. And it's just also the disorganization. Like,
baseball is a game of consistency. If the Yankees do the same in October, they will go nowhere.
Right. And it's weird because even before we got the announcements of the Peraza call, not the Peraza call, the Cabrera call up and all that other stuff, I saw people on Twitter. Oh, well, the Yankees may be struggling right now, but they're going to get a hot streak and carry that into October. How the fuck do you know that? Like, what are you trying? Like, stop with the false. Let's get on that hot streak, and then I can believe you. But right now, stop trying to be a company boy. Okay. But if you want, you go into the next bullet point.
So we lost the series to the Rays, although I think we're playing another game tonight, if I'm right. Yankees down in the set 2-0. Gleyber continues to bat leadoff, as you said. He's been decent, but he's also had his streak of moments where he's been head case. And the Yankees just let these players get away with this. Scary Sanchez, Gleyber Torres, just two prime examples. You should have traded him at the deadline, personally. Benintendi continues to bat sixth. That goes back to what we said about the personnel utilization. They just don't know how to use personnel right. There's a guy that's batting leadoff in Kansas City. Let's trade for him and bat him sixth. He's a table setter, not an RBI guy. 20, was he have 21 RBIs in the season? Does that attain to much? I'm sorry, it doesn't. You bat him second in the order. So all the power guys like Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Carpenter eventually could drive them all in. I mean, it's common sense, but not to the analytics geeks. Continuing with that, Donaldson 4-hole, we already brought that up. Yankees 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. They don't, and I said this last year, they're not going up to the plate with a plan. They're just swinging at anything and trying to swing for the homer. That Dylan Lawson mantra is out the window.
Let me ask you a question.
Hard. They're hitting dribblers now. There's no ball that's been hit hard.
Well, I mean, the geeks will try to pull out the exit velocity, but there's none to be pulled out. I got 2 points to bring up. Do you think it has to do with that uppercut swing? Have you noticed that? I remember Donald brought it up on our podcast on Monday.
Yeah, they try to change everybody's swings. As he said, everything is an uppercut swing. There's no line drive swing. They're not hitting line drives. They're either popping it up or putting the ball on the ground. And this is what they try to do to everybody. Rizzo's
No,
struggling, but I think there was a decline like before. You have all these different guys, and the Yankees just don't know how to teach hitting. Their analytics department is trash. They focus on the wrong things. They focus on the launch angles and the drive or whatever, the exit velocity. I mean, that's obviously you want to hit line drives, but they just focus on the wrong things. The Yankees do not have, listen, I hate analytics to this day, the baseball analytics specifically, but the Dodgers, teams like the Dodgers, the Astros, the Rays, they have all the advanced analytics stat. They have more advanced analytic staffs than the Yankees, and that what holds apparent. And
right.
plus, what doesn't help is they do not throw the way they keep the analytics for October when it essentially means nothing. Regular season is regular season, but when October comes, throw it away. It does not mean a thing. You could be 4 for 9. Let's just say, I don't know. I'm making up a scenario. Red Sox go to the postseason. They're facing the Yankees. I don't know. Just because, let's just say, career in the regular season. Anthony Rizzo's 4 for 19 in his career against Chris Sale. I'm just throwing out a scenario. This is not real. Anthony Rizzo hits a home run off of Chris Sale and starts to get really hot. Again, regular season does not, and postseason are two different things.
What also pisses me off, and this is something that's going to tick me off until we win a World Series, maybe even after that, is not just the punt lineups, but the belief in non-momentum. Like, how do you not, like, winning streaks literally exist? Okay. That's legit proof. It's not whether you believe it's true or it's not true, whatever. It's literally a fact that momentum is real. Winning streaks. If momentum didn't exist, and I've heard this argument before, I think it's a very stupid argument. Winning streaks would not exist. Losing streaks would not exist. Okay? For instance, let's paint a picture here. Non-baseball, but has to do with baseball. Let's just say there was a couple of game seasons, right? Let's just say, Pete was doing a couple of game seasons.
Okay, I'm just going to interrupt you for a second. Breaking news out of the Rangers front. The John Daniels, the president of baseball operations, has been fired. So I guess the Rangers are trying to tear down their front office and their coaching staff, as Chris Woodward was fired the other day. So Chris Woodward, screw you and your Little League ballpark quote, you've been fired.
You're fired.
You can take that out of the office with you.
Yeah, you can imagine. But what I was saying is to talk about consistency, to talk about streaks and stuff like that. Talk about, let's just say Pete does a series of game seasons and he gets over 300 likes in the first game season, right? Whether this a start of 7 game seasons, 300 likes, the first one. And then he gets 300 more, in the 300 range. That's consistency. That's called a fucking streak. I just don't know how the Yankees front office and how Aaron Boone, because I'm pretty sure Aaron Boone did say that streaks do not exist. Like, that's a statement I cannot agree with. Once again, like, I've given Boone the flowers for managing this team better this year, but I can't get on board with some of the shit that comes out of his mouth.
It's ridiculous. You expect this guy to be a baseball man, but the thing you said about momentum, this is why this team is not winning anything. They don't have a good mindset.
No, I agree with you there. Shout outs to Eric in the chat. Shout outs to Chris Perez. What's going on, Chris? Eric says if the Rangers are firing people, then Aaron and Brian need to watch out. I wouldn't say so. I mean, no. I wouldn't say so because
Aaron just got signed to a 5-year extension, and I don't know if Brian Cashman's going to retire. I don't think it's going to happen. But if he ever retires, I would like Jeet to take over.
Eric says they aren't bringing the kids up till after tomorrow. They want the extra year of service time. First of all, that whole service time thing, and I'm not saying that you're bad or anything, the person who made the comment, but the whole service time bullshit is stupid. The fact that the Yankees are playing with that and they don't want to manipulate it.
It's all about the years of control. That's why they're playing with these options.
because they're cheap as fuck. They are
Yeah.
cheap as fuck. Pretty much comes down to that. But to be fair, it's been reported by side people. It's not necessarily been reported on the Yankee front. And I don't think the Yankees social media guy is sleeping right now. So I think they would have known, hey, listen, we're calling up Peraza. Not Peraza. Well, Peraza's like the first one on my mind. But they're calling up Florial, they're calling up Cabrera, making an announcement. But we haven't, to be fair,
I
seen
would
an
wait till
announcement.
tonight to see that, or when the game starts at least before.
Yeah. Gabriel says we don't need him to retire. We need him fired. That's not going to happen. A lot of people wanted that with Dave Gettleman and the New York Giants. He retired. I mean, I know a lot of people were looking for some type of bone, but it's just not going to happen, guys.
It's the flesh. It's the flesh.
Yeah, guys. Let's get
let me
to
just
70 likes.
Let me just also say, Chris Young, former pitcher, has complete control of the Rangers' baseball operations.
Interesting. I mean, I forgot
because he's the GM. Remember?
Forgot he was in the front office, but man, I mean, he made some good signings at the time, Semien and Seager, but they've
it's mediocrity because you're signing players to these big contracts. Meanwhile, you almost have no foundation. I get Jonah Heim's a very good player. But I don't know much about their other guys like Glenn Otto. I know they have Josh Smith, but it's mediocrity.
Literally is. You want to go into the next bullet point?
I've covered most of the Rays series. Peralta and Trevino leaked out of the bullpen in game one. Garrett called a phenomenal game against the Rays, giving up that one run.
And I usually make fun of Garrett.
I usually slam Garrett Cole on here, but I can't blame him because Aaron Hicks tried to be a ballerina in center field, ultimately missing a ball so the Rays guy could get a triple. I was lucky I didn't freak out while watching that. Eventually he allows the go-ahead single, 1-0. Then Peralta and Trevino just could not hold the lead. And I think this bullpen is starting to be a little bit of a concern for me. Like Efros has been good for the most part. Trevino's had his good appearances, but I don't know. It's getting weird, especially that Clay Holmes is injured. I guess Chapman's been okay. He's been fine of late. Just not a lot of optimism for that pen. It's almost like I think the Mets may start to have that advantage. Like we always talk about, the stereotype is, oh, the Mets have a bad bullpen. You know, that's true. It's true they do. I mean, Michael Givens hasn't necessarily worked out for them. Actually, you have Edwin Diaz, who's rock hard, been the best closer in New York and best closer in baseball all year. You have Trevor May trying to come back. You have some other guys. I mean, I think they might have a better bullpen, and it's a little concerning from the Yankees because they rely on a lot of their youth, but they also rely on paying guys like Chapman, and Britton's going to be coming back. So I think once this year's over, once Britton and Chapman are gone, you got to go full youth with this one. Steven Ridings is where he is in rehab. I don't know what's the scenario with that, but I hope to see him soon. He had a power arm.
Do we have any updates on Zach Britton? Like, is he on Earth?
I'll check. I don't know if he's close to Earth yet.
Yeah, I mean that's been pretty strange over the last few days. But I agree there. You know, Joe brought up a question on our Monday podcast, but really he said it, and I want to turn it into a question a little bit. Do the Yankees need a consistent closer? Like, is that the game of baseball now? Do they think Chapman should go back to the closer role, or do they just do it by who's hot? Because if Clay Holmes is hot this week, you make him the closer. Or do you another week Chapman's hot, you make him the closer? I mean, what do you think of that thought? Or do you think the Yankees just need a strike down consistent closer?
I would like a consistent closer because that's how you get consistency out of your bullpen. You need guys for fortified roles. You can't be like we complained early on in the year that Loizaga, even though he's shit now, was not in a consistent role. He'd be like placed in the 5th inning, the 8th inning, 7th inning, whatever. They need consistent roles to be more consistent. They need to know what they face.
I agree. And Ron Marinaccio still in AAA. Clark Schmidt's still in AAA, and sometimes your hitting can help out the bullpen, and your bullpen can help out the hitting. You'd be surprised how much that, those two things kind of can help each other. But I'm pretty sure we've talked about this before, Luca. The bullpen being not great, the hitting not being great, and then the pitching. And we were literally I feel like we were actually talking about this early in the year, or at least some point in the season, maybe middle of the season during the struggles, and we're still in it. But it seems like the Yankees have been off in the entire summer in terms of that. Like, why is Albert Abreu still on this roster? Do you think it's an optics thing for Brian Cashman because he traded him and then got him back, like the Chapman thing?
Very well could be. Very well could be. I'm trying to find out what this update is on Britton. This article is giving me no answers.
Does anyone in the comments have
Okay, there you go. 14 pitch live batting practice recently. So he's throwing off the mound. It had to be like last week.
Okay, you know what? Just leave him for the rest of the year. I don't care. Leave him, goes into free agency, he's fully healthy. I don't want any part of Zach Britton in this bullpen because once again, it comes to shouts to Big Mike. What's going on, Big Mike? Once again, it comes to the statement that you have too many inconsistent guys coming back. Loizaga, Chapman, Britton. Herman was a warrior.
It's an embarrassment of riches. It's an embarrassment of riches. You forgot Castro too.
Oh my God, I don't want him back. Like, is there updates on him?
I think he was like thrown off a mound, possibly. But again, it said possibly. So, I got to see what this Castro contract ends.
Hopefully soon. I mean,
listen, I liked him on the Orioles.
Minus if he comes back, an absolute minus.
He's a free agent next year, so he's another one who comes off the books.
Right, guys, we have 4 likes away from 70. Let's get there. Also share this out. Like, comment.
He was
subscribe,
playing catch. He was playing catch.
I could play catch. Does that mean I could be a Yankee? Joe says it's simple. Abreu's still on the roster because he knows when he DFAs him, Houston will pick him up and turn that dude into God. Yeah, I mean, let me ask you a question, Luca. Do you think it's just talent, or do you think Matt Blake is overrated in terms of a pitching coach because of the way this bullpen has turned out?
I think he's mastered some guys, but some guys he just can't fix. Like, he's done a very good job.
Like, you still hold high hopes for Trevino?
In the long term, yes. I got to see when his contract ends.
That's another good question. Everyone wants Britton back, but if he has another Field of Dreams moment, they'll be calling for his head. I mean, I don't want him back in the first place. Like, no. I've said that repeatedly.
Trevino is 30 years old, and he goes to arbitration next year, the year after, and 2025 is free agent. So
why is he 30 years old going through arbitration?
He could have been a late call-up, but I don't think I remember him that late of a call-up, possibly. Maybe the A's were playing the Yankee game, and they were playing the control game.
That's actually very possible. I'm going to look at that.
Trevino was called up in 2018, so that's not long ago.
How old was he when he got called up?
2018, do the math, 26.
Yeah, that's
He wasn't like a bright. Again, like, if you're not a high prospect, you're going to come up with like your late 20s.
Right.
If you're a really high prospect like a Juan Soto, whoever, you're going to come up in your early 20s or late teens.
But it's also the Oakland Athletics, so we have to watch. Once again, guys, 4 likes to 70. Let's get there. Matt had an incredible run May through June. Got to give him that. That's true. Gregory says Matt Blake made Clay Holmes better until Boone overused him. Yeah, I mean, in some situations, you can absolutely blame Boone for overusing some guys. However, at the same time, in some roles, like, they didn't pitch well. And it's just weird. It's just weird.
Sorry, I can't interrupt. Here's the highlighted quote from Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, God.
You look like flat out trash. You're all straight garbage. There's more expected from the New York Yankees. How about that analysis?
That's great analysis. You know what? We should.
He also criticized Aaron Judge, apparently. There's no analysis with that show. I'm telling y'all. Do not watch the video. Don't give him clicks. Do not give ESPN clicks. They're garbage.
That was the greatest analysis in the history of sports analysis. Seriously,
he can't even break down what's wrong with the team. He won't because he doesn't know enough. This is the same guy that said something. I don't know. I don't remember what he said about Shohei Ohtani, but it was ridiculous what he said. Even I think Ohtani's overrated, but what he said was off the rails.
So we got 82 people in here, 72 likes. Let's get that to 80. I mean, we've had a pretty successful podcast right now. Yeah. So here is, I'm going to pull up a tweet by somebody who's known to be a company boy, and no, they're not a part of John Boy, if you're asking that.
Ryan Garcia?
No, somebody else. So somebody said, oh, I just hope that everyone doesn't expect Oswaldo Cabrera to hit like his Scranton numbers and then turn on him if he has an 0 for 10 slide, because I don't care if you all saw last year with Gittins, Hoy, and Ombrigui, but Scranton numbers tend to get a bit inflated. Here's where I'm going to say that's absolutely an obliterated statement right there, because guess what? Hoyjun Park was towards the wit's end in terms of prospects. Ombrigui was not a prospect, and Chris Gittins was not a prospect. They were not prospects, okay? Gittins, as much as I liked the guy and as much as I wanted him called up, he was not good. Ombrigui, in how many at-bats? He wasn't good. The only reason they got called up is Jay Bruce exists. What?
Where the hell was Ombrigui?
Where is he right now? I think he's with the Reds. Chris Gittins is in Japan, and Hoy's with the Pirates.
I remember Gasu Kato was another prospect.
He's with the Mets, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he is.
Let me look up Chris Gittins' stats on the season, because you can look that up. And then we're going to get into expectations and stuff like that. So Chris Gittins, right now, for Rakuten, is hitting. So he only played in 13 games, total of 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, 357 batting average. That's very low in terms of at-bats and stuff like that. So I can't make a statement on him. But no, let's talk about expectations.
Okay.
Let's go into it. How much of an impact do you think?
Oh, hold on a second. I'm going to pause that for a sec. Stephen A. has written a memoir, everybody. Go buy it now. I don't know if it's available. I just had to put it out there.
Of course you did. But what kind of impact do you think these call-ups will actually have? Because there's the expectations, and, some people put out the expectations. Oh, well, you shouldn't expect much. Others are expecting like they come up and light it up. What do you think the impact's going to be?
Listen, they were called up. They're called up to be that spark to the team. I don't think they're going to light up the whole world, but they're going to try to provide a little light a little fire in everybody's ass. Listen, they're going to put pressure on the guys that they're starting over, like the Gonzalez's, Gonzalez is probably going to be gone. Aaron Hicks, we don't know with him, so he's going to light a fire in Aaron Hicks's ass, meaning Florial. Cabrera will do the same to Gonzalez or IKF. You never know. You might have Cabrera starting a shortstop soon, and Peraza at second. You could do the whole thing. Gleyber, he's going to light that fire, man. He's going to light that fire. I'm not expecting him to be an all-star, but he is going to light that fire. But I don't want this thing where he's successful in AAA because the coaching is so great down there, and he shits the bed in MLB because the Yankees are changing his swing.
It's very possible it ends up that way. And I think it goes much farther than that, in all honesty, because there's two things that can happen. And somebody was talking about in the chat, Ron 9 says Florial is another example. Mash is in AA, but is in transfer to the big leagues. Not necessarily all the way, because he just hasn't had consistent at-bats. Like, he was pretty good last year. I remember he hit a double, and Gary Sanchez was out at third, and then they sent him down. So he hasn't had consistent ABs. And I'm going to admit, I was down on him earlier in the year, but that's when we seem to be okay. And then we got into the dog days of Gallo and the dog days of Hicks. And then I kind of retracted what I said. I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh, well, I didn't say that. No, I was down on Florial, but he needs consistent ABs. And what it comes down to is two things. Once again, where are these guys in the lineup? Where are they put position-wise? who are they playing over, and are they actually getting the reps? Because they could get
Exactly.
called up tomorrow or today, whatever. They could get called up, and all of a sudden, guess what? They're not playing. The IKFs are still playing. Gleyber's still playing. Hicks is still playing. That's the issue. That's why I have to see what happens before we even go into this thing of the World Series, go into this thing of the
Before we
playoffs, whatever.
champion them, we got to see how they use them because they could be complete crap.
They could be complete crap, and that's the unfortunate part. Volpe pinch runner in September? I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't think we'll come up this year, in my opinion.
No, it's going to be a next year type of thing. We already talked about Andujar, but do you think, in all honesty, and I know projections are kind of tough to make in this scenario, but where do you think these guys are going to play? How much playing time do you think that they are going to get, and who are they going to replace when they're on the field? And will they get a fair enough chance? Let's say that.
I don't see the Yankees cutting bait with Hicks, so I think Florial is going to get a minimal chance. Cabrera, I think, is going to get more of the chance to survive, and not survive, but to produce. Because Marwin, he barely made the roster this year. He barely made the roster. It wasn't a clean cut. He was going to start, but Cabrera is valuable, very valuable. He could be off the bench. You know, as long as the Yankees utilize him correctly, I think he's going to get. I expect him to get more reps than Gonzalez, and I think he's also going to challenge IKF, Donaldson, and Torres. Because Donaldson, again, he plays second, third, shortstop, and the outfield.
It's just what position he plays the best.
Second and short.
Second and short, exactly. I do agree with you. I feel that just the way they've treated Florial, it's just not going to be as many expected. I think they're going to mistreat him a little bit, not just because the Yankees, and I hate the front office and Mike Fishman, all of them, but again, I think it's going to go all the way to the Hicks factor. I just feel like they're going to get in their own way there. Cabrera, I think he'll take over the Marwin role to start, and then I think he'll start getting some game reps more and more. The reason Marwin was actually on this team, in my personal opinion, in the first place, is because Tyler Wade was gone. They got rid of Tyler Wade, who was basically that type of guy, and I'm actually surprised they didn't call him up, which was a very good
Still
thing.
mention it.
The September call-ups were still a thing. Not gonna lie, I miss September call-ups. But if September call-ups were still a thing, I would think Tyler Wade would be on this big league roster. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think that this is going to provide the spark that 2016 did? Like, okay, yes, we have a bright future. You know, we may not make the playoffs this year, not necessarily this year, but I'm talking the 2016 scenario where
you're going.
We're out. And, you know, Judge came up. He was a 194 guy, but everybody was looking to the future. And then Tyler Austin, who's better, he came up, and then, you know,
I think Peraza and Marinaccio will be the final pieces to that. They'll start to spark, but I think Peraza coming up is a big key to that. And once he gets a solid place on this roster, once he gets a starting spot and consistency, then this team can take off.
Personally, the reason, in my opinion, that they haven't called up Peraza because they have no place for him. I don't think they want to cut bait with IKF. Like, Cabrera is literally Marwin Gonzalez in terms of playing positions. Peraza's second base and shortstop. They don't want to cut ties with Gleyber until probably the offseason where they can actually trade him. Can't trade him right now. You have DJ there at second as well, but they don't want to cut ties with IKF because, well, the trade. And Brian Cashman looks dumb for that trade, and it would make him look dumber to cut in terms of the way he thinks. Now, you could argue, well, you know, you could just move Peraza or IKF over to third. I don't think that's going to happen because I only, in my personal opinion, I think more of the veteran cuts and, you know, the trades, that's going to be done in the offseason.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion, just overall. Your thoughts on my statement?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I think with this youth movement will take full form next year.
I mean, they still have the 40-man roster, Jared, but at the same time, there's no such thing as September call-ups anymore. I wish that was a thing, but it's not. Let me ask you a question, just out of sheer curiosity. Who is on the 40-man roster? If you could pull it up, that is not in the big leagues, of course.
Let me see. So I'm look that up right now.
Yes, IKF is a Gold Glove at third, but are they going to
All right,
willingly
I
play him
have it.
over Donaldson? That's the question, Gregory.
Albert Abreu, Luke Bard, Zach Britton, Miguel Castro, Chapman, Cole, Cortez, Efros, Divey Garcia.
Well, anyone who's not in the big leagues right now, so Luke Bard would be one of those guys.
Divey Garcia, Luis
There's no
Heel.
fucking point with that guy. I mean, you could argue whether the Yankees ruined him or not, but there's no point for him to even be. I think he's done better recently. He even went to Double A, but I don't know. I just don't see a point that he's taking a spot on the 40.
So you have Bard, Garcia, Yendrys Gomez, Luis Heel, Von Marinaccio, Clark Schmidt,
Okay.
Ben Rorvet, Oswaldo Cabrera, obviously brought up, Oswald Peraza, Esteban Florial, and Everson Pereira.
Well, I mean, they're not going to move prospect off of what do you call it? The 40-man. That's just not going to happen. Now, I'm going to ask Pete a question in the chat. Pete, I've heard for so many years the name of Yendrys Gomez. What the hell is going on with him? Is he worth anything? Is he a guy that's going to get traded? Is he a guy that's actually, he has a good future and all? I need to know that because we've seen this guy on the 40-man for years, and they haven't done jack squat with him.
Just like they held Gary Sanchez for like 9 years in the system. Same with Austin Romine.
Austin Romine had a lot of injuries. That's kind of the thing there. Release Bard. They claimed him off waivers, so that's likely not to happen. I want to see if we could get 90 likes by the end of the show, which we'll be wrapping up in a few minutes. I want to see if we get 90 likes. Please, let's get to 90. Mike says Gallo has 3 home runs in 9 games in LA. Different atmosphere. Pete says Gomez has great stuff, but he'll need to be rushed, and injuries have stopped him a bit. He will need to be rushed because he was placed on the 40-man. Right, and I don't know in terms of I'm not too caught up with all this Rule 5 draft shit. So, I mean, is he Rule 5 draft eligible? Is that why he's on the 40-man? So that's kind of my sheer curiosity there. But let's get the likes up. We got 85. Can we get to 90, please? Let's get to 90. So I think we've pretty much covered a lot of stuff. The Yankees need a closer, all that stuff. I do believe, going back to one of the comments, the Yankees need to definitely call up Greg Weisser. I think he's ready. Do me a favor, actually take a look at the Real Riders roster and name me the pitchers.
Okay. Let's look it up right now.
Guys, 2 more likes. 2 more likes.
Luke Bard, Matt Bowman, Sean Boyle, Johnny Brito, Braden Bristow, Jimmy Cordero, Carlos Espinal, Luis Heel. Let me just ask for this. What was the point of calling up Espinal that one time?
That was literally a moot call up. 92 likes. I don't know that we'll reach it, but could we get 100? I don't know. I know I'm being outrageous, but could we get 100 maybe? Luca, keep going.
Cordero, Espinal, Heel, Michael Gomez, Zach Green, Shane Green, Matt Crook, Tyler Lyons. I haven't heard that name.
Oh my God, that guy sucks.
Let me see. Tyler Lyons, your favorite. Ron Marinaccio, Reggie McClain, Jose Mujica, Richard Rodriguez, Sean Semple, Clark Schmidt, Ryan Weber, Greg Weissert, and Mitch Spence.
So we're at 97 likes right now. 99. And I'm gonna ask Pete this question. What the hell is the deal with Braden Bristow? That's another name I've heard in the minor leagues for a long time. We're at 100 likes, people. Thank you so much. What is the deal with Braden Bristow? I'm going to look at the Real Riders roster myself, and then I think we can end off on that note.
Gabriel just said, I'm sorry, it wasn't Gabriel. Gregory says that Tyler Lyons has been on the restricted list for at least 3 years.
Yeah, Tyler Lyons just fucking sucks, okay? Yeah, Braden Bristow's a guy I've seen for years. Also, Matt Crook. I mean, what are the deal with those guys? And these are just like legitimate questions. Tyler Wade's down there. I forgot Chris Owings existed.
He doesn't know much about him.
He doesn't know much about him. And then I'll wait, of course, on the answer for what's the other guy? Braden Bristow, and then what was the guy I just mentioned? God, I have short-term memory loss. Matt Crook. I think that's the guy I said. But he's probably a non-prospect. Like that's legit.
That's
why?
That's how it works.
I'm surprised they didn't call up Ryan Lamar.
Don't mention that name either.
Oswaldo Cabrera will be playing with the Yankees tonight. Yeah, they just have to announce it. I mean, we were all getting these reports, but the Yankees haven't officially announced it. That's actually what I'm waiting on. Gregory says Crook is a 4 ERA pitcher, strikes out a lot, but walks too many. That explains a lot, honestly. Crook is a solid veteran, AAA arm non-prospect. Yeah, so he's like a Chris Gittens, Trey Ombrigui type guy. But with that being said, Luca, final thoughts.
Appreciate everybody coming out tonight. 100 plus likes. I appreciate y'all. Can't wait to see what Cabrera and Esteban Florial do in the correct situation, which is right now. Let's see if they fire up this team.
Right. We appreciate over 100 likes, and it is a day stream. It is not a night stream. It is a day stream. So we appreciate y'all coming out for this. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the good stuff. Notification bell, you turn that on. Share this out. Share the channel out. 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Also, please do me a favor and sub up to the Big Blue in the Bronx YouTube channel. That is, of course, my channel. I won't be active there probably till next week because we'll be in Florida, as mentioned at the beginning of the podcast. And we won't have an episode next week. But, Luca, I didn't mention this at the beginning, and I'm going to mention it now. When I called raw spaghetti for Kyle Higashioka's home run.
He had a home run.
He had a home run. And what I forgot was part of the bet is I have to eat raw spaghetti. And I'm not doing that now. Next time we're on game season. Next time I'm on game season, I have to eat raw spaghetti for that. But with that being said, we appreciate you guys, and we will see you next time. Peace.
Peace.